Hey everyone, we're back. And we just wanted to thank everyone for watching our last video and all the very positive feedback we got. And this video, we want to talk about us finding out we're pregnant and everything leading up to now. And it's going to be really long, so we're just going to hop right into it. So basically, like we said in the last video, I was in Sacramento for school last year. So Quinn came up a lot to visit, and the last time he was coming up to visit before I came home for winter break was in October. We planned it so that he came up for Halloween and we got to spend Halloween together. And it just ended up that he stayed a little longer than like normal. He stayed for a week instead of like 4 days. But basically in that time frame, like it was Halloween, we dressed up. We dressed up as Missy and Andrew from Big Mouth. I'll insert a picture right here. And then we went to a basketball game and we kind of just hung out and like relaxed. And so after that week, I had gotten like a weird text from my mom, and she asked me if I was pregnant, and like I called her and she was saying that my godmother was making me a baby blanket and it was a blue one. And she was like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "No, what the heck?" Like, not that I know of. Like, I called my godmother and we like laughed about it. She was like, "Oh, I'm just getting ready." My sister texted me. Everybody was asking me like if I was pregnant, and I was like, "No, like, duh, of course not." Like, no, I'm not pregnant. And cut to Monday, November 25th. TMI, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I have a really regular menstrual cycle. I kind of keep track of it like every month. And so the latest I've ever been is like a week. And I was only at this point on that Monday like 3 days late. I wasn't late like by that much, and it really wasn't anything to stress about. And I wasn't honestly that stressed, but like it's good to kind of get it out of your head like, oh, I'm not pregnant. So I was thinking while he was at work, we were texting, and I was like, I'm gonna go buy a pregnancy test. Like, not even like the slightest bit stressed out.
Singular.
Yeah, just one. That's how convinced I was that I wasn't pregnant. And I was like, I'm just gonna go buy one. And so I didn't want to stress him out and be like, hey, I think I'm pregnant. Like, I'm gonna go buy a pregnancy test. So I told him I was gonna go buy Advil at CVS. So I went to CVS and I was looking for like the cheapest one, and it was like the CVS brand one. It was like $10. So I got it, went back to my dorm. We're still texting, he's at work. And I went to the bathroom and I, sat on the toilet, like took the test out, and I, peed on like where you're supposed to pee. And as soon as I peed on it, both of the lines turned blue immediately. Like no faint line, no like a little bit blue, like everything was just blue. And I was like, oh crap, like this is not real. And in my head, I'm like trying to convince myself like this is a CVS brand test. Like, like you don't know if that's true. Like you don't know how accurate those are. But like also in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm pregnant. Like this is for sure happening. And he's telling me about how like crappy his work day is through text. Like, oh yeah, when we FaceTime, I'll tell you all about it. Meanwhile, I'm stressed out. This is like at 1 p.m. and he wasn't getting off till like 3:30. So I was thinking like, what do I do? Do I text my sister? Do I text my cousin? Like, do I tell somebody? And I'm like trying to talk myself off the ledge. All my roommates were gone. I was literally by myself. And then I kind of like calmed myself down a little bit. And I was like, well, like I'm grown, like kinda. Like I'm turning 21. I didn't want to feel like I was like, oh, like I'm 16 in high school, like I'm pregnant. What am I supposed to do? Like I knew that everything was going to be okay at the end of the day. And on top of that, this was 3 days before Thanksgiving, and my mom was planning to come up for Thanksgiving. So I only had 2 days to like kind of calm myself down. And I wanted to put myself in a position where I could tell my mom first. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell him first. Like, obviously he deserves to know before anyone else. So cut to, I'm off work. I'll FaceTime you when I'm out of the parking lot. And I was like, okay, it is go time.
So I called her and I just started like going off about how like crappy my work day was or whatever. And I'm going like from Anaheim to Long Beach. So like, it was like what, 30, 45 minutes at the time, because I left at like 3-ish.
Yeah.
So like I'm going off and she hasn't said a word. And I'm just like, man, what the hell? Like,
and if you didn't notice, I talk a lot, so very unusual for me.
Right. So I was just like, man, like what the hell is going on? So I'm like getting close to my house and I'm like, yo, like, you haven't said anything. Like, like what's your problem? I'm like, did I do something? Like what the hell? So, and she was like, no. And I was like, okay, like, then what is it? And she was like, oh, so you know how I went to CVS earlier? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, well, I bought a pregnancy test just to like, you know, give myself that like, you know, you're not pregnant. And I was like, okay. And she was like, and I took it and I was like, okay. And he was like, and it was positive. And I was like,
the first thing he was like, you're pregnant? And I was like,
you're
yo,
pregnant?
hey, lower your voice.
I was like, wait, you're pregnant?
Yeah. I was like, don't say it out loud. And then I just started bawling, like my eyes out. I don't even know why. Like I wouldn't say like I wasn't scared, but it was just overwhelming. It was a really overwhelming moment for the both of us. And in the moment, he was really good and like calmed me down. And so, yeah, we kind of just like, oh, we're going to be okay, you know, this and that. So my roommate that shared like an actual room with me, I had three roommates, and one, she and I shared a room together. She came back a little later, like probably like around 5. I think she had a class or something. And I was like, hey, so like, here's the thing. I took a pregnancy test and it was positive. So like, do you want to go to CVS with me? I'm going to go buy another one. And this time I bought like the real like clear blue, like on brand, like everyone gets them. And it was the same, like the 2 lines one and then like a digital one. And they were all positive. So then it was just like, okay, like we're having a baby. And at the time it was really hard to say. Now it's getting like a little easier, obviously, like it's been so long. But it was just so weird to even comprehend like, oh, we're having a child like together. Like, and we had only been together for like 6 months. Yeah, because that was November.
Barely, yeah.
Like into like 7 months. Yeah, so the next 2 days were pure just like nerves and anxiety. We were both like sick to our stomachs, nauseous literally for like a whole week.
Yeah, I didn't sleep more than like 2 hours for like a whole like week and a half.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't eat for like 2 days. I was throwing up every morning.
Yeah. I'll figure it out.
I was like, yeah, there's no way this shit is true.
Yeah.
Like, and I was losing my mind the whole like for a while.
Yeah, it was a while. And then like I said, my mom was coming up, so I was so nervous to tell her. Literally, we had told friends, like our really, really close friends. I told my best friend Lauren, he told his 2 like, or his, yeah, you told 2 people or you told 3 people?
I told Nigel, Rome, and Ajani.
Yeah, so those are like
and Gianni too. So.
Yeah, so those are his closest friends, and I don't have a lot of like really close friends. And my other best friend, I wanted to surprise her when I came home, so we hadn't really told anybody like of like family and like, you know, like not of importance, but just like of that like, oh, like you're really gonna judge us, you know? And then it came to that Wednesday, so I found out Monday, she was coming up Wednesday, and it was just like, man, like this is happening. And I was picking her up from the train station early, so like, and I didn't even want to have to be like, oh, I'm gonna wait till, you know, tomorrow to tell her or Friday. I was like, no, I need to get this out of the way or else I'm gonna be entirely like just losing my mind. And she would notice after a while, after I was just like acting weird, because I'm just not like that. So picked her up from the train station, and you know, we're just talking, we're going to Mimi's Cafe, and she just kept asking me questions that were like, so next year, you know, when Quinn moves up here, what are you guys gonna do? And then next semester, this and that. And I was just like, oh my God, there's not even gonna be like a next semester. Like, he's not gonna come up anymore. And so finally we're sitting down at Mimi's Cafe, and she's just bombarding me with all these questions about next year and the future. And I was just like, look, lady, there's not gonna be like a next year and a next semester. And this is just kind of what I think I said, because I blacked out. I literally can't remember what I said at all. I said something like my period was late, and like I usually don't worry, but like I took a test just in case. And then she kind of just looked at me. She wasn't mad, she was just kind of looking at me, and she was like, you're pregnant. And I was like, yeah. And I went on about, I don't even know what, like I just kept talking, and I was bawling my eyes out like in this restaurant with all these other old people in there, just like crying. And I went on for like 2 or 3 minutes. Like it felt like a long time. And then when I was finally done talking, she kind of just looked at me and she was like, this is a good thing. Like that, and that's all she said. And I knew she was gonna be like relatively okay with it. Like everybody was gonna be shocked, but it was kind of just like, this is not the worst thing that could ever happen to you. She was really cool about it. And then I called my sister, and I FaceTime, or did I FaceTime her? I think I FaceTimed her. And we were in the restaurant, and she was like, hey, like is mom there? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, mom's here. And I was like, hey, so I gotta tell you something. And as soon as I said that, she said, what? I was like, so you remember you asked me if I was pregnant, 2 weeks ago. And she was like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." It's not like we kept it a secret. Like, we had just found out. So, like,
Literally.
nobody was, like, in the dark for too long. Like, we hadn't known for too long. And then he told his mom on Thanksgiving.
So I'll say first, like, my friends didn't believe me at first. They were like, "No way. Like, no, you're lying. Like, not right now." And then, like, they were all happy about it, which I don't want to say surprised, because, like, it's my friends,
Yeah.
But, like, we're all young.
Yeah.
So I told my mom on Thanksgiving, and, like, we were just, like, talking, and I was like, "So you know how I was gonna, like, move up to Sacramento and stuff?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna do that anymore." And she was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Well, she, sometimes, like, she was like, "She's pregnant." And I was like, "There you go." Yeah, and so it was a cool conversation. There wasn't really, like, a whole lot of, like, freaking out or whatever. I waited another, like, week and a half to tell my dad, and it was harder to tell or not tell my dad because, like, me and him live together at our house. Like, it's just me and him. So, like, every day, like, coming home from, like, work and, like, doing stuff, and, like, he's talking to me about, "Oh, do you see the Lakers might trade for this person?" Or did you watch the game yesterday? And just talking to me about anything else. And I'm sitting there just like, I'm like, this guy has no f***ing idea. Like, and then me and him were going to go eat for his birthday. And I was telling her that I was going to tell him when we were eating. And we were sitting there, like, just talking about something, and then I texted her, and I was like, "I'm gonna just tell him right now."
We were in the middle of a conversation.
Yeah, and she was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "I'll text you when I'm done." And she was like, "Okay." And so me and him were talking, and I was like, "Look." So kind of like almost the same conversation I had with my mom, like, "Well, I'm not moving to Sacramento anymore, blah, blah, blah." And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, she's gonna move home, actually." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, and he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, she's with child." And he was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." So yeah, after I told him, like, it wasn't really, like, there wasn't a whole lot else to talk about. I think we were both kind of like, "Yo, what the," so we were just kind of like, "All right, let's talk about something else now."
And so he was coming to pick me up, and basically what that original plan was is he was gonna come fly up, and we were gonna drive my car down here because my AC broke over the summer, and I was just gonna get my AC fixed, and then we were gonna drive back up. But now it became like, okay, so now I'm moving home. So we took most of my stuff and we went home. And then it was kind of like, I haven't been home. Like, some people in my family knew, just like the people that I talked to all the time. Like, my mom's brothers knew, my cousins knew, my first cousins knew, my godparents knew. And so, but it was like, I have not seen these people. I haven't seen them since, like, August. So it was just like, I came home and it was overwhelming because everybody was, for the like, excited. I wouldn't even say for the most part. Everybody was excited. I didn't get any, like, "What the heck is wrong with you?" Like, everybody was just like, this is cool. Like, so it was my 21st birthday. I didn't drink. We told some family then too, because one of my cousins was like, I'm not a drinker anyways, so they weren't that shocked, but she was like, like, it's your 21st, like, you're not gonna drink. We told her and her husband, they're also gonna be two of the godparents of our son. Spoiler alert. It's a boy. But yeah, so it was just kind of like, everybody finding out, us having to kind of face everyone. And it was good. Everybody reacted well. Thankfully, we got really lucky in our situation. I have a really big family, so people having babies young is not new. Like, cut to week 12. That was when we had our first ultrasound. So my mom went, his mom went, and then obviously we went. And I looked all cute, we were gonna take a picture and we were gonna decide, like, oh yeah, we're gonna announce this, So we were like, he was nervous. I was like really excitedly nervous, it's an overwhelming thing. And so we were in there, laid down, and like he put the, like the gel and the little like monitor thing, I don't know. Put it on my stomach, and that was the first time we had really seen the baby, and it was just like, it was like shocking.
It's real.
Yeah, it became really, and at the time, like, he was small, like just like a little bean, like literally a bean of like a child. But like you could see like his spine and like his skull. So it was just like, what the heck? Like, and he was moving and stuff, and it was just really like, oh crap, like that's in there. Like that is still like a, you know, that's a person. And that same day we announced it. And that was just like we got bombarded with just people like obviously being shocked. Like I said, we had not been together that long. Listen. Sorry. It's okay. So we got bombarded with messages. Everybody was really happy. I mean, everybody said they're happy for you. I don't know how everybody felt. They were probably judging us, but like, I don't care. And then 15 weeks, that's when we found out the gender.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 15. So we had made an appointment right after our first ultrasound, we made an appointment to find out the gender of the baby. And we are gonna shamelessly say we were shooting for a boy. We had no idea. Like, I had no instinct, but I wanted a boy. It wasn't like, I know it's a boy. I was just like, I want a boy, but I literally don't know what it is, like, at all. And we both had dreams that it was a girl. So I'm thinking like, it's a girl probably. You know, like, the Lord's intuition is just like descending upon me, and it's a girl. So we get there, it's me, him, and his mom. It's this little small place, Baby Bump Studios in Ontario. Just in case anyone's wondering, they're really good. It's really cool. And the lady, you know, they were really nice, you know, telling us everything. She was like, okay, so like, this is the leg, this is the other leg, this is the butt. And like, I'm not an ultrasound technician. I don't know what I'm looking at. So I'm looking and I'm like, that's not a boy. Like, it doesn't look like a boy. And she goes, okay, congratulations, you're having a boy. And we were both like, what? Like,
I was like, huh?
Like, what did you say?
We're having a who?
Yeah.
Like,
and then she kind of like, she took the picture and she was like, oh, let me get a better one. And she moves the, you know, like the little thing. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a boy. Like you could see it like entirely. Like that is for sure. Like that's a boy. So I'm currently 19 weeks, which is like 5 months pregnant. And since we found out the gender, it's definitely been more calm. It's been smooth sailing. I think we kind of like stopped all the surprises. Well, after we got engaged, like we stopped all the surprises. Then it was like, all right, fine. Like everybody can relax now. We're finally like used to being like, oh, I'm pregnant, and like I see myself every day, and I like, oh my god, I'm huge. You know, like I have like a little pouch and stuff like that. You know, like the baby's kicking, and so it's been really good. Yeah, baby's been kicking. That's been crazy. But it's been a good experience, and like we know not everybody has that. I knew my family was gonna be okay with it, but we've just got like a lot of, you know, support, like an outpour of support that I wasn't expecting. You know, like we don't have it necessarily easy, like in general, like in life, but like we're really lucky to have all the support we have. And we're really grateful for it. So if anyone's watching that has given us, you know, support and love, like we appreciate you and everything you've done for us. It's been a roller coaster and it still has not ended. I am only halfway there. And as much as like it's kind of flown by, you know, like we're excited. It's been fun, you know, so far.
yeah.
And I've had like a really easygoing pregnancy, which is what I'm going to talk about in the next video. I'm just going to talk about all my symptoms and stuff, but it's just been like nice for us to like enjoy this, you know, as like a young couple, because it can be stressful at 21, you know, when you don't know what you're doing. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell your friends' parents.
But anyways, thanks for watching. Like I said, I'm going to do a video of my pregnancy symptoms next week because I'll be 20 weeks. And it'll kind of be like an update, but also an all around like what the heck has been going on with my body and what I've been experiencing. And I'm brutally honest, so we're just gonna be honest in that video. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.